Lollapalooza 2023, tomorrow through Sunday. Basically, it will just shut down Grand Park as it does each and every year. City makes a little bit of change on this. And Lauren O'Neill now joins us on mic number 2. She's a host on Q101, basically the heart and soul of that radio station. I appreciate it. She comes in here to give us a Lolla preview each and every year. Lauren, thanks so much for your time. I guess the first question is, how is this year's lineup compared to previous years?
Thanks for having me, John. This year's lineup, I think, is a lot different than years past. It's kind of covering every single genre from harder rock to, the techno, alternative. You've got rock and a lot of indie bands and even some local Chicago bands.
How many acts?
170 artists on 9 stages over 4 days.
Do you take in all 4 days usually?
I do. I take in on average 5 to 6 days. This year it'll be 5. I'm starting with an after show, which is technically a pre-show because it's before Lollapalooza starts. 30 Seconds to Mars at the House of Blues. So
you go soup to nuts.
I go hard. I get every single drop out of Lollapalooza that I can.
And it's part of your job, obviously. But would you go even if you weren't on the air at Q101?
Yes. I mean, I'm fortunate to do what I do. It definitely beats digging ditches.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky that this is actually part of my job.
Have you seen a lot of Lollapalooza presentations here? How many do you think?
I have, I moved to Chicago in 2012. So I've been to Lollapalooza every year since then.
Are you looking forward to which stages, which acts this year?
I am looking forward to so many acts. I mean, the stages is hard to say because it changes every single day. And they're all have their own vibe. Mm-hmm. You've got your big, huge cornerstone stages on every side, the Bud Light stage, the T-Mobile stage, but then the ones in between, each one has their own vibe. I mean, Perry's stage is a lot of the dance and DJs. Kids-A-Palooza has a stage, which is amazing. We've got the School of Rock kids playing a couple of the days.
My son is a veteran of the School of Rock.
Is he really?
Yeah,
what did he play?
Up in Highwood. He started there on guitar. He still plays guitar.
Okay.
He's doing pretty well with it. So I'm a big fan of School of Rock. What is the age-appropriate time to take your child to Lollapalooza in your mind?
Anytime. Absolutely anytime. All ages. I've seen babies at Lollapalooza. My opinion would be to definitely protect their ears. So if you're bringing young children, definitely get them the noise-canceling headphones. But it's a great environment for the entire family of all ages, even you.
I'm going to get to that later. Over the course of seeing all these Lollapalooza shows, last time I talked to you about, I think, last year's lineup, you said some of the surprises you see at Lollapalooza are truly historic. Can you explain?
So a great opportunity at a festival like Lollapalooza with 170 artists is they'll meet backstage or they have some kind of rapport or they're working on music together. And then there's this cross collaboration or cross promotion. So, I mean, I've seen pretty much every year the Cage the Elephant guys will show up, whether they're playing or not. So they'll be hanging out and sometimes people will pull them on stage. Perry Farrell will jump on stage a lot with random bands.
What if the bands don't want Farrell?
I think it's in the contract. If he wants to come up, it's his stage, and you got to let him go.
Okay.
One year, I remember it was really memorable that Tom Morello came out and joined Ex-Ambassadors and did a song together. That was really cool.
Lauren, have you ever seen anyone not on stage, my age, in the audience at Lollapalooza?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this is the year. I'm going to drag you all the way out to Grand Park.
Looking at Chicago, is this the best place to hold a music festival that's this diverse? I mean, as opposed to out in the sticks someplace?
I would say yes. There is nothing like being in Grant Park with all the green space around you and the greatest skyline in the world at your back, the backdrop to these stages. It's just such a cool experience right on the lake. It's awesome.
What acts that you haven't seen at Lolla would you like to see booked next year?
Local H. I don't think Local H has ever played, and there is Chicago. They've been around for decades.
The writer in the Tribune said that Lolla is becoming particularly much more involved with the Chicago music scene. What bands from Chicago are playing this year?
There are a few, actually, and I highly suggest Friday. Sincere Engineer is taking the Bud Light stage at 1:15. This is a project from, her name is Deanna, and it is incredible. She's young. It's wonderful music. So that's going to be awesome. And then on Sunday, there is a band taking the T-Mobile stage at 2:30 called Dead, but it's D-E-H-D.
I didn't know how to pronounce that.
There you go.
I would have asked you about that band. I figured it was Dead, but I didn't want to sound like I was uninformed.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
So it's good that there's some Chicago bands playing. They've done that in the past, but they're trying to make a bigger effort. That's what I read?
Yes.
That's good. And what are your favorite stages? The Tribune writer, in particular, had her favorite stages. Does that depend on, I suppose, the day's lineup?
Definitely on the days. So I could give you a better idea of who to look for on the days, but all the stages are great.
Is this the best musical weekend of the year in Chicago for you?
It's one of them, for sure. Riot Fest and Lollapalooza are the best musical weekends.
How do they differentiate themselves?
I would say Riot Fest is also probably more diverse than Lollapalooza. It's a festival where you can have Slayer and the Village People play on the same weekend. And everybody just enjoys the diverseness, I guess, of it.
Do you have to take next week off after Lollapalooza?
No, I never stop.
How many concerts do you see live a year? Ballpark? 100?
Definitely more.
Yeah. Lauren, thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated.
Thanks, John.